Heyo, Kiseki here with another video on how I would update this champion in League of Legends. Today's video is on this clown here, Shaco. I think the best way to describe Shaco is a character that is very attracting to start playing for new players because he allows a different style of play and can really take over early games by himself. That is Shaco. If you don't respect him, you will lose. Shaco has a lot of creativity and many options and can change his builds to fit any team comp. Shaco, you could say, has a lower barrier entry, but he has so much finesse. It's not like a character you can figure out in 3 minutes of play like a Maokai. You need 5 good games to get the hang of some stuff and some teaching just to be competent and not ruin games. With respect towards Shaco players, I think I found a little quality of life update that would make people feel good to have in their games. If you played 5 years ago, got a full-time job, and your buddies asked you to play LoL one last time, you bop out the old Shaco, and you're not feeling too different from how you did, but just fresh enough from where you want to give it another game, because there's some new stuff. That's my goal here. Alright, let's go on to this goal slide. When I do these updates like I did for Siobhan and Skarner, I just want characters to feel like I'm still playing that character who's loved. The same job, just if it were released today. We as a community go, yeah, that's a modern kit. Overall for goals, add more creativity and finesse while making sure he can still be punished. I need to keep Shaco feeling like Shaco. Let him still choose AD or AP, just add even more tricks. Shaco is supposed to be one of the highest finesse champs, but I need some things that will be easy and rewarding still. In general, Shaco is a champion that allows you to treat the game like it's a Shaco game. If Shaco is in the game, you have to keep in mind he is in the game. With these changes, people will become much more aware about the Shaco's tricks, which in turn allows the creativity to shine. That's the goal here. So just on to the passive. Passive remains the same. I want to keep some kind of reward for constant backstabs and making first weaker and progressive is stronger, but I don't really think it's needed. And Shacos tend to just want to auto and E anyways. That's the bread and butter. Just keep it as it's kind of deal. I was looking at something like the target has grievous wounds apply after 4 backstabs. It's a reward for 80 Shaco / Hail of Blades, and it will work better for the new kit, I promise. But decided maybe just keep backstab the exact same because I'm already giving him enough help with this kit I'm gonna propose here. So Q is Shaco. No matter the style you go, top, jungle, support, AD, AP, tank, this is the one consistent in Shaco. You cannot help Shaco before you have this spell feel a little different. First things first, I want to add some kind of cartwheel or acrobatic move during the Q animation just to feel a little more thematically correct. I've coached a lot of Shaco players and they're all just a little schizophrenic. So cute little fun Shaco habits would please them quite a lot. Currently, Shaco Q looks boring and kind of is just lame. Give him that big jester feeling. He's a horror-themed character after all, and I want the blink distance just reduced a little. Enough for him to still get over the walls and fast reacts and big AoEs, but just a little less. In return, while approaching enemy champions, he gains a big burst of move speed, as if he's getting ready to shank them. Like he's running towards them and then pack! You know, good British stuff. And this is a small spoiler, but he can now trade places with his clone. It's a little hard to visualize, but in spots you're both autoing and you're getting focused instead of the clone, pressing Q will allow you to swap immediately. The only tell you swap being your HP bar, but it helps you keep getting more backstab procs in return, or returning to combat to chump check an enemy letting clone walk by. You know those spots where your clone's just slowly chasing? You can just walk, teleport back, stab, back. Nope, that's the goal here. W is like kind of like the big spell, I think, gating a lot of Shaco buffs, especially for AD Shaco. There's a lot of ideas for what this spell should become, but I think I got a good one. So base Shaco box is the exact same. If you're starting the game, you place it, same box. What's new is that your E, 2 shift poison, will now blow up the boxes. Think of current Shaco R just a little less. If you press E on a solo target as a backstab, it's still more damage, but now has an AoE option. The other portion of the change is if Shaco is in his Q, Deceive, Any boxes placed will now have a taunt instead of a fear. This change is much more helpful for AD Shaco, but still has spots where AP Shaco will love this. A lot of the time, Shaco Fear actually just ends up saving enemies, and you can never get autos off. Since the Deceive W is much more risky, it should have a much more beneficial payoff. Taunt also helps a lot with support Shaco. It's a lot of mana, but it's a good panic option. I want the boxes to look different too, so we as players, we as spectators can tell what's what. Like, think of this scenario. You queue out a vision, you're running behind an enemy, you get towards the Xerath, and then you place a box down, and then he just walks into tower because he got feared. Cool, right? Yeah. Whereas if the box were to taunt them instead, it gives you a chance to punish these low attack speed champions for allowing you to get that close to them to begin with. Because they have to break the box. A lot of the time, champions can instantly nuke them, but bad matchups are bad matchups. However, if they have weak autos, then they're stuck, and Shaco will get his empowered auto. That's kind of my whole vision of this. If they're stuck hitting that little clone box, then they're screwed. That's the goal. Also allows them to maybe get a couple people in there too. Like, you get a Braum or you get a Renata plus something, and they're stuck and they can't act away. It's kind of nice. As for the E, not sure how it changes more than I already have with allowing him to blow up the boxes. I thought about allowing you to hurt your R, but that might be too much. I think the spell's fine, but it doesn't really need anything else. No bleed or poison effect, despite it being called 2-shift poison. I think it's good how it is. That's for R. Alright. Look at this. This is the old R. Off the LOL wiki. Memorize it good. Here's the new good stuff. During Deceive Q, and you press R, that smoke will fear the enemy, slightly reduce resistances. Whoever last hits the clone will now be disarmed, including epics. It will still explode and hurt the same as before. Gives a real, someone worthless needs to remove the clone or else feel. Create its own little objective on the team fight. Clone dying now drops normal boxes that still do damage the same. Will only fear if they are walked over after they go invisible. Break these while you can before they go invisible. That's the goal. Duration is the exact same as a normal W cast. All 3 will be visible if one is activated. That's just how it's going to work. They all still take the same amount of damage. Shaco can press E on one of these 3 boxes, and all 3 will detonate like GPE. This isn't the same for every other box. Only the clone dropped once. Okay. This is the big list of bullcrap I wanted to send her the Shaco update on. The ultimate will genuinely feel like Shaco has an ultimate. That's my goal. Just breaking it down. Earlier I said how Q will allow you to move between them. This denies him of placing taunt boxes while ult is out. I believe that is part of the counterplay of a Shaco who hasn't set up his den. Just Shaco in general is the setup champion. I want him to feel even more reward for having that den setup kind of deal. If he has a taunt box here, feeder box here, his clone died here, so more boxes are out there. Just feel good kind of deal. Him now being able to fear during his Deceive plus R combo will also give him chances to absolutely ruin the coordination of a backline. All of the swapping and guessing incorrectly can just end up causing you to lose the game. The AD Shaco is more gritty style because he has to be in there, while the AP Shaco is hoping you screw up. And then he can pop the clone, pop the boxes, and get fat AoEs of AP damage out. Very conditional, but it's still kind of the same feel AP Shaco has now. An impatient Shaco player will give himself away. It's not like Q is a 2-second cooldown where you can weave back and forth. Just, he will end up chasing double, switching wrong. He'll screw up. That's the whole point of this. That the onus is on the player to become better, to read the enemy, to know more. But this is my goal here. Imagine a cowardice Shaco just running away after his clone dies, and then he tosses one last hurrah E, blows up the boxes, and places a taunt box after you chase after him. And then in that microsecond, he gets one last auto on you. That's the kind of bullshit I want Shaco to be on. Or you're in between top bushes and you follow him into one and he swaps and gets away. He places his clone, keeps it in place, then he walks forward to get a scuttle crab revision, hits the oh shit button and warps right back. That's part of the Q distance nerf, because now he can do this. Don't worry, I'm taking care of y'all. People ignore Shaco clone because it's just standing there. A carry walks past it, then a real Shaco is suddenly autoing him and switches back because it was the real one the whole time. I want these shenanigans. I want Shaco to make people scared. Not just 2-minute ganks. I want hell on the Rift. This is a horror-themed character. It's got to be a team objective to shut this little shit down. That's the goal of this Shaco rework. I want more creativity. I want the Shaco to feel like the onus is on him if he fucks up. That he has to play perfect or else the game might be ruined. That's the goal. Anyways, here's the full kit. If you either skipped ahead or just want to read it, to wrap this all up, I just want Shaco to be locked in. This character's cool, and I want to see top players give this more chances. Also, if Shaco is suddenly incredibly powerful, then he can get nerfed, and the whole community will rejoice. That's kind of my whole goal for this. For now, though, I bid you adieu. Thanks for watching.